recognisable with his spiked blonde hair, piercings and explosive energy. The Prodigy frontman Keith Flint was an iconic figure of the 1990s music scene. On Monday morning, the 49-year-old was found dead at his Essex home. His bandmate Liam Howlett confirmed his death was a suicide. Posting on Instagram, Liam wrote, "I can't believe I'm saying this, but our brother Keith took his own life over the weekend. I'm shell-shocked, angry, confused and heartbroken. Rest in peace, brother." The band paid tribute, describing Flint as a true pioneer, innovator and legend. He will forever be missed. The Prodigy emerged from the underground rave scene of the early 1990s. Flint started off as a dancer with the band before moving to vocals on Firestarter and Breathe, hits that propelled them and dance music into the mainstream.
When they started out, it was like the acid house scene. It was, illegal parties in the, around the M25, the rave culture. What the Prodigy did is they gave it structure, they gave it personality, and they made a real impact and it hit audiences, with songs like Firestarter that everybody knows.
6 of Prodigy's 7 albums reached #1, including their last, released in November last year. And the band were not a thing of the past. They'd recently finished a tour of Australia and were due to start performing in the US in May. Away from the stage, Flint could be found on the racetrack. He was a key motorcyclist with his own team, which won 4 Isle of Man TT races.
It flows through my veins.
A host of musical figures have been paying tribute, many making note of Flint's kind, gentle side, slightly at odds with his wild punk persona. Richard Russell, head of the music label that first signed the group, said devastated Keith Flint is gone. Not just a great performer, he had total integrity and an incredible sense of humour. One of the sweetest people I've ever worked with. What a beautiful energy, what a gentleman. Privileged to have known him, miss you, Keith. Keith Flint was one of the most vibrant, energetic performers of his generation. A man who appeared almost indestructible. His sudden death is a huge shock and loss for so many. Charlotte Lomas, Sky News.
The DJ Pete Tong, who inducted the Prodigy into his Hall of Fame in 2015, joins me now live from Los Angeles. And thanks for joining us, Pete. I'm guessing, given you're in Los Angeles and the time difference and everything, you woke up to this news. It must have been horrible.
Yeah, devastating. I actually woke up in the middle of the night to I try and keep my phone off normally, but I got a news alert, so I was aware a little bit earlier and then couldn't really get back to sleep again. But yeah, devastating news, a real shock, and certainly echo all of the sentiment and all the comments in the piece that just ran there.
Well, tell me, what was your interaction with Keith and with the Prodigy? When did you first become aware of them?
Right from the very beginning, even before I arrived on Radio 1 in 1991. I think we all, coming out of the rave era and the acid house era and the warehouse party and the illegal rave era, we were all looking for, some kind of justification of what we'd all been doing. And along came a band like the Prodigy, and it kind of elevated the genre, and it just took the whole game to another level. So I think the music they made, those 3 albums that they made in the 90s, were complete game changers. The combination of Liam's talent in the studio with Keith and Maxim and the band's image on stage and the way they performed, it just, as I say, just elevated the whole genre of dance and electronic music and made us very proud. And I think they also actually, the world is around the world as well. America, for the first time, kind of came on board and started to understand a little bit of what had been going on in the UK, and a whole kind of new genre was created in America in the early 90s called electronica, and the Prodigy were very much at the forefront of that. They started headlining festivals over here, front cover of Rolling Stone magazine, and I think it was that kind of punk ethic of Keith combined with the musical genius of Liam that enabled that to happen.
And what about just the impact of Firestarter itself? The simplicity and impact of the video, the song, and of course Keith's performance.
Well, I think in record business terms, that was a perfect storm. It was a coming together of the best of everything, and using, the technology to the best of its ability, using the culture and the backstory of how the band had got to that point, and bringing all those influences together and everything they'd learned over the course of the previous 2 albums, and using video, the medium of the day, in such a hugely impactful way. So, I mean, that was really the genre's punk rock moment, and blew the whole thing wide open globally.
And he had a hinterland, as the saying goes, doesn't it? I mean, that motorcycle interest, the team. He ran a pub as well.
Yeah, he was very much a man of the people, as a lot of people have said there. That he was such a sweetheart. I had a studio in Barnes, actually, Olympic Studios, a very famous studio. He lived around the corner from that, and if you away from the video image and the persona on stage, he was a really down to earth, normal guy. It was an Essex band. They were totally charming.